don't think there's any set formula as to what makes a good place. You know, we can do a list of have we got the right range of facilities and activities for community? Is there really good quality public realm? Is it easy to walk through, find your way through? Has it got a mix of homes and caters for a range of people? But I think if we only sort of list the functional benefits we should bring to a place, I think the biggest thing is how it makes people feel.
When we was looking at houses to buy and you just walk in and go, Jesus, it's a box. When you see something that's a little bit brighter, a little bit more open, it makes it feel like space.
When I first stepped in to view the property, I was gobsmacked. I didn't feel like I was coming into a social housing apartment. The space is amazing, the ceilings are nice and tall, you've got big windows, you've got 2 balconies and they're very spacious.
And now we have space. Nothing's on top there. Freedom.
People are living longer, which is fantastic, but we're living with multiple long-term conditions, 1 in 4 of which are preventable. And the places we live can offer better choices and chances for living a healthier life. So if we have the ability to move around more, to walk to work, to cycle to school, then we are more physically active.
The other buildings were here before were cold, they were too small, and it was just isolated. We were so overjoyed that we're going to actually do some building work on here.
The TRA was very influential in terms of the evolution of the design, and we had lots and lots of meetings with them.
And it just made the community want to be in it, because they could put their word into it. It was like, oh, we got a word in it. Yes, you have.
Having somewhere that encourages people to come out and socialise and play sport is fantastic for health and well-being in general. At ground level, the design of the estate is very sociable. With the games area, it really gives a focal point for the estate and somewhere for people to meet and take the kids or go and play football.
Around here, there's nice landscaping, so pedestrians are protected, but it feels like space that you can walk around. The design of the individual homes, there's lots of natural light and good ventilation and good space, and also things like shared balconies, shared communal spaces.
It feels very mixed and it feels like it's been done in a very equal way.
Hill realised that we were only going to grow our business successfully if we delivered in the community in a way that the community would look at the buildings that we left behind and be totally happy for us to come again and to build again. A scheme that we're very proud of, which is called The Avenue in Saffron Walden. They had an avenue of glorious trees that ran through the centre of the area of land we were talking about, and what we realised was that to get the community on board we needed to give something back to them. We recognised that if the avenue was very much at the heart of that scheme, we could allow the community to use it, which gave the community a bit of ownership for the project.
Thoroughfare here is lovely. I mean, I think it's loads of space. It feels really safe for kids riding their bikes or walking up and down. It's great.
The landscaping is intermingled between the houses, which makes it nice and green and just pleasant, where we can take the kids for a little play.
I mean, traditionally we always think about the scenario of a front and back garden, and of course with higher densities you've not got the luxury of those thresholds, so we have to think of other ways of creating that transition from the public realm of the shared street and the private realm of the house.
As you come off the main road into the estate, straight away you've got a different kind of paving and then plants at the side of the road and plants in the road. It's a nice environment, but it makes you slow down because you're aware of the pedestrians.
South Gardens is the first phase of Elephant Park. Elephant Park has an overarching vision to create central London's new green heart. The first thing we had to do was really listen to what the community was saying. There was an urban forest here in the Elephant, and it's how we were going to develop the master plan, but really respect that fantastic green canopy that was here.
The vision of the council was to create a genuinely mixed community with the highest quality housing possible.
In between the blocks we've got small play areas for the children to go through, so it also encourages us to get involved with the other people that live in the other blocks and we get to know each other.
So what's lovely, I think, about this development is it's such a mix of people. I mean, I think there's some really luxurious penthouse type flats, but there's also social housing, there's space for families.
We've created a pair of skyplexes that have their own front doors onto the roofscape with a private garden there. And they really are a pair of kind of townhouses in the sky with the most incredible views across London.
There's loads of little pockets of lovely gardens. The planting is so beautiful.
If it's planted to this sort of quality, actually becomes a really amazing amenity space. There are people there, but it never feels overcrowded.
The number one thing, without a doubt, is speaking to the existing community, the residents on Wandsey Street, and seeing their children, playing in this part of the scheme.
This is what regeneration should be about. People of all backgrounds and all incomes living side by side in the highest quality housing.
The Mailings is in Newcastle. It's designed around the industrial legacy of the site, but it also builds on the typical typologies of that area. So there's a flatted development, but it's not the contemporary and usual style. So there are adjoining front doors which encourage people to integrate and to communicate together.
We've got 2 terraces on either side, so you can sit at one side, the other side we've got the garden at the back, and the kids absolutely loved it. Perfect for teenagers.
That's one of the things that I really wanted, to come out of my front door, meet people that I know and be able to chat to them. But it works really well here. When the weather's sunny, people sit out on the decks and everybody gets a coffee and gets together, or we do communal things, we have parties, so it's working really well.
I could definitely see myself here for a long time, and even having kids here, I think it's a brilliant place.
The particular development that we've delivered is called Carrabrick Meadow. It's a half-hectare scheme, 14 homes, all sold, but it does provide 6 of the 14 of affordable housing within a market-led scheme, of which residents have been able to purchase 75% of the original market value. They follow a Norfolk typology, so they've got barn-like qualities to them. Low-hanging eaves, slate and timber, white rendering to make them fairly distinctive, and they reflect the nature of the place they're in, so they respect the fact they're within a woodland.
This is a residential development of 36 houses in the heart of Salford, just off Chapel Street. In considering what we had to do here, we took a view on the historic nature of Salford and wanted something that would max in with the cathedral over there and St Philip's Church. So it had to respond to the heritage context, but also mark a new contemporary language in terms of residential development in the area.
Timekeeper Squares, as well as Carpino, is not just about the creation of buildings, but is also about the creation of the spaces around, so that people can really come here and enjoy just walking around.
Nobody's aspiration changes just because they cross 60. If these places were designed better, more people would want to move to them. Higher floor-to-ceiling levels, lots of glazing, light coming in, bringing the outside inside, private balcony space so you can get out to the fresh air, walls that slide back so you can combine spaces so they're flexible, as well as all the traditional things you'd expect in terms of the future-proofing features.
I think some of the successes are where we see people using and supporting the local facilities. So the children will walk to school, they'll be engaged in the actual townscape and the landscape and using the open space, and we see them playing in their play spaces and enjoying each other's company and actually being happy and living there.
If they feel they're living in a special place that's actually has an identity that's relevant to context and has been really thought about, and they all want to look after it.
Lots of light, lots of fresh air, lots of greenery, not a concrete jungle.
Not cramped, and a community feel, which is terribly important for me.
People feel happy in the neighborhood and they know that it's going to be there for a long time. It's going to be appealing, it's going to be safe. So that gives it a very nice atmosphere, very nice to walk around, especially in a sunny day.
If they could do it in Camden, why not do it in other boroughs? Because you've no good building tower blocks. Put it into communities, in a circle, it works better. lanes, through roads. People get to know each other better, and anyone can mix together that way. And today when I've walked around, I've seen tenants who lived on small blocks, squeezed in. I've got lovely 4 beds on this side of the estate, lovely new flats. They're so happy.